The shortest path to your goals may not be the fastest. My name is Paul Vázquez with Tax Lab. We help people become ethical millionaires. So they say that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So if you have a goal that starts here and you want to get to here, you draw a straight line and you follow that path. We try to create, especially in these videos, simple directions on how to go from where you are to where you want to get to financially, utilizing sound principles that are reflected in the tax code that make them legal. And then hopefully on top of that, you have an ethical analysis of doing it correctly and honestly. So we have this line here, but not everybody is actually starting at the same point. So when you get a video like these or any of the others I've shown you, you may say, wow, that's great, but I've tried it and it doesn't work for me. And it may not work for you directly because you may be at a different starting point than what that strategy is best suited for. And so regardless of where you're starting, even if we start off on the right spot, and the best thing, of course, is to get a plan that's actually written for you and where you're starting from. But even then, we can find roadblocks. And let's say you're trying to get to the store, and you're sitting in your office, and you want to get to the store, and you say, well, let me draw a line with a map with a straight line. That's the fastest way is the straight line, the most direct. Well, if I were to stand up and rotate, I might find that there's a wall in the way. And I can then say, well, I'm just going to have to keep plowing right into that wall until I make it through, because the shortest distance is between 2 points is obviously the best way to go. And I find that this analogy really works when it comes to our financial goals and almost every other goal in life. Yes, we can put inside a plan, but when we come into a roadblock, if we become more focused on the plan and not the goal, then sometimes we can just keep butting our head up against a wall or a roadblock. And if we just said, hey, maybe if I went through the doorway that's right there, I can still get back on course with less time, less effort. And it's actually smarter to take the door that's already been put in place than to try to plow my body through a wall. Probably a bit more painful, and there's a chance that I might give up at some point, right? The probability that I'm gonna give up on my goal if I'm just trying to smash my face through a wall is probably far greater than if I just said, well, maybe the better course is to actually take first this detour around and then get back on track. And I'm gonna find this in my path to the store. When I cross the road, yes, it takes less time for me. It's a straighter distance to walk across the road, but I have a car. I could, once again, divert my path to the car, find a better, faster, and safer method than to blindly walk through traffic, than what that straight line would apply. And so those goals, those paths, they set an ideal, saying that if all things line up perfectly, this is the best way to go. But that's not the way life works. Sometimes we have to take detours, and those detours may actually allow us to get where we want to go faster than if we tried to stay on that straight line and plow through any diversity, hurting ourselves, destroying things in the process. When there's a door right over there that you could actually just go around and walk right through. So there are times to be persistent and insistent, but it should be around the goal and not around the strategy, right? The strategy is there to help you reach the goal. But the goal, and if hopefully it's a good goal, ethical and honest goal, when we follow those, of course, we don't want to, once again, sacrifice our goal in the process of getting there. So if we want to become ethical and financially stable, then when we are plotting our course, when we find something in the roadblock that would go against that standard or hurt our ability to get that goal of arriving at that location with our ethics and our health and our vitality and our joy still intact, then we can't, then it's, if the path presents an obstacle that would ask us to sacrifice the end goal, we're not really helping ourselves get there. Whereas if we take a step back and say, okay, is there a way around this part of it that's both ethical and lets me get to that end goal of being financially secure, both ethically, healthy, and feeling great about myself and my life. So please take that end goal into account. Don't just say, hey, I want to be wealthy. I think you're going to be a lot happier if you qualify that financial security with ethics and a healthy heart, mind, body, soul, all those things. If you qualify it, that you want all those things. And so, yeah, that means your path to get there, it might be more complicated, or complex. It might be more complex to try to get there ethically. It might mean that you don't plow through, injure yourself, and injure others along the way. That maybe you have to kind of go about it, maybe in a roundabout way sometimes, but even then, those paths can actually help us get there. Sometimes faster, sometimes happier, and more often than not, it'll enable us to actually get there without quitting, because the obstacles that we chose to confront instead of going around stopped us in our tracks. So the journey is just as important as the goal, because there's no point in becoming financially stable, to become well off, to become a millionaire, if in the process you turn into somebody you don't even like. And so that's why we want to couple it with ethics. And I think also there is kind of a healthy person that you want to maintain or create along that path. If you want help creating the strategies that are meant for you from where you're starting now, go on to lab.tax, click on advisory services, and schedule your free 15-minute introductory interview where we get to kind of know each other a little bit, see if it is a good fit. And I wish you guys all the success.